it's a long process. And colleges have what they call through their let's see if I can write this down. Give me one second. There are three processes to like applying to colleges. The first one they call it early early decision, and then the second one is early action, and then the other one it's called regular. So these are the three processes of college. So the early decision, that means when you apply to the college, it's gonna be binding. That means you can apply to any other college, just that one college. So if they accepted you, you have to go. There's no there's no way out. You have to go to the college. But hey, well, let's say they didn't accept you, and you didn't apply to all the other colleges. That means you can't go to college next year, right? So most people don't do this. And but the second one, it's called early action. It's because it's early. Like so, when you apply, they will tell you your decision earlier, but you can apply as much. I applied to 8 colleges, and I was accepted to 4, and then I was denied by 2, and then 2 put me on the waiting list. So that's a good odd. So apply. I would just say apply to much colleges. You don't want to just depend on one college. You never know what's going to happen. And I was planning to go to James Madison University. That was my choice, but I'm on the waiting list right now. But hey, I applied to other colleges and Old Dominion, and I'm going there. I'm not going to say I'm going to keep on waiting for them. You never know what might happen, and that's another way of about colleges. And the regular is where everybody apply. It's going to be next year, January 15. That's the deadline for regular colleges, most colleges. So try to like put your application, start your application early, and then so you can have time not to rush it. And then when you type in your essays about colleges, don't ever type it on the computer, like the website. So try to put it on a Word document. So after you type it up, and then you print it out, and then maybe come to your English teacher so they can edit everything out. After they edit everything out, you can go back and do changes on your Word documents. And if everything is perfect, you can just copy and paste it to the website. So that would be like an easier way, so you can't have any errors when you're doing your application. That's one way I was doing it. And also, Family Connection again is a really good tool on Blackboard. I know most of you know Family Connection. Do everybody know Family Connection, right? Yeah. So Family Connection is a way for people to like really look for the college you want. So if you want to go to this particular college, they will show you what GPA you have to have, what SATs, average score you have to get, and every description about the college is going to be on there. And you can even compare 2 colleges or 3 colleges, which one is more stronger, which one is more favorable for you. And you always, when you're applying to college, you have to find your rich school. Like you say, okay, I have 3.2 or 3.5 GPA, and this school has this GPA. You don't want to apply, you open a school that you have a 3.5 GPA, and the school is looking for a 4.0 GPA. You say, no, that's the only school I'm going to apply to. You know you're not going to get in. Your odds is better, it's less of a chance for you to get into the school, right? So that's why we have what they call rich school. So apply to other schools that maybe they're asking for a GPA that's below 3.5. You know, hey, I'm even above the grade point average that you're looking for. So you can, so that's again another option for most students. Hey, but however, to go to college, if you didn't have the money, you can't go, right? So that's where scholarships comes in. And most people don't want to apply for scholarship because of the too much essays and the too much work. You have to write resume. You have to go to your teachers or counselors for a recommendation letter. But one thing I always say about scholarship, you have to be a good hunter. And I said this yesterday again. You have to go out there and hunt. If you set your trap right, you will get it. And right now, I have $15,000 in scholarship. And plus I have aid from the federal government of $5,750. And so that makes it up to $20,750 that I've saved up for college. I was working 2 jobs. I was worried that I'm not going to be able to pay for college. Okay, I have $20,750 that my mom or my parents wouldn't even pay for me. They didn't even pay for me a penny. All that was from scholarship. And my tuition for scholarship for the year, my cost of attendance is going to be around $19,000 and some $100, and I even have above that. So so it depends to how you want to hunt, how you want to go out there, how you want to set your traps. There are tons of scholarship out there. The last scholarship I had was called the Rotary Scholarship. It was for $5,000, and they were advertising this program on TV for like over 2 months. Over 2 months, and we have a class of 446 seniors. I turned my application in, and guess what? To my surprise, only 9 people applied for the scholarship. Because the reason is maybe they were not even paying attention to the TV. Maybe they were putting earbuds in on the ears when they were announcing it, or maybe they were on the phone, or maybe they were doing something else. When you know you can afford college and your parents can't afford it, and I know my parents can't afford it, I'm gonna pay for myself for college. But hey, I have that money saved up right now. And I know most of you have the same, you can relate to that. Not all our parents can afford to pay $22,000 in tuition every year for 4 years. But that's where scholarship comes in. There's tons of money out there. But because I know I want that, so I listen to the TV. Just 5 minutes of their time won't do me any harm. So I try to listen and try to like anything about scholarship I'll apply. I've applied minimum of 45 scholarship, I would say. Anytime I have a free time at home, like if I'm not doing anything, I'll try to go online and just try to apply. It's not gonna be one day. It's just gonna take steps. Gradually, you can start today and then end in a week. They have deadlines. Just try to make the deadline. Okay, you know what? If the deadline is the 20th and you start the 1st, so okay, you know what? Every week I'll just spend like 20 minutes on the application until the deadline. You're done. And then also when you're doing your essay, you don't have to write every time the same essay. You can recycle in your essay. Let's say you write the essay, just save it on your computer. And then when you want to apply to another scholarship, you just copy and paste it, but you just change the names of the scholarship. And then you change the date. That's it. You don't have to say all the time, I have to write an essay. You can just recycle it. I've used sometimes my essay, I'll use it for like 10 scholarships, the same essay. But I'll just change the name and dates. And also for the $5,750, that's where FAFSA comes in. And FAFSA is a federal, I know most of you have heard the word FAFSA.
Yeah.
So it's free application for student aid. That's the meaning of FAFSA. So it's free, you don't have to apply, you don't have to pay for the application. It starts January 1st, and then you apply, and then it takes a lot of time. It took me like 3 days to complete the application. And because the earlier you apply for the aid, the better chance you're gonna get in having a really good aid, because it's based on first come, first serve. So the earlier you apply, the better chance you get in receiving a better aid. So yeah, that comes in January 1st, and then I urge you all to apply. And then after you apply, the federal government just gave me that. They call it federal grant for free. And then they gave me $5,600 in student loan. So they will loan me $5,600. But I don't have to use that because you have to pay interest rate back. But this one you don't have to pay. But for this one you have to pay because they're lending you the money. And that comes with 4.6% of interest rate. But I don't have to use that because what? I have scholarship. And I remember the day was last Thursday, a week from now. No, today's Friday, right? Alright, so last Thursday they had this program called the scholarship. It's a ceremony they do every year at Annandale. It's an award ceremony. Either you're receiving a scholarship or maybe you're receiving a recognition that you did something really great. And so I was only expecting one scholarship from the Rotary because the Rotary because it's a lot of money, so you will apply and then you will schedule an interview to do, and then you dress appropriately. And the only question they're going to ask you is the same thing you put on your paper. They're not going to ask you anything different. And they ask me a question, and most of the question they will ask you, because if you're like an immigrant, they will just want to know where you're from, and they will just try to tell them the story, like where you're from, how is it like, and that's most of the time you have a better chance, better odds, because you speak more than one language. I speak more than 3 languages, and I know I have a better chance in getting the scholarship because that's what's on the market right now. People want to know about all the places too, and so it depends on how you're selling your story. That's how people are gonna buy it. And then so this program, it's the award ceremony, and I was only expecting a Rotary scholarship. The interview that I did, they called my name. I was the first person they even called for the program, Rotary scholarship. I was so excited, and it was just a blast because it was a really good feeling, you know, all your hard work you put in, applying to scholarships, and then you get that one again. I got 5 scholarships. 5 scholarships, and that sum up to 15,000. Some scholarship is 1,500. Some will give you 2,500, 8,000. I even have a scholarship of $500. And all I accumulated all that together, and I got that. And then, so the second scholarship I had that night, I applied for that scholarship last year. I didn't even know they're gonna call the Fairfax Scholarship. I totally forgot about it. But when they called the name, it looks familiar to me. And they said the award goes to Chandler Berry. It was a shock for me. It was a surprise. That's why you have to apply to as much as possible. You never know where it's gonna come from. It doesn't matter if you apply because of your GPA or your story. They will just want to know who you are, what's your personality. That's most of the things they look for. And also, so yeah. And this year alone, this school year alone, Annandale High School have over $2 million in scholarship. Over $2 million. And you can say that's a lot, right? And that can cover for all the seniors, for 446 students. But guess how many of those scholarships were for? Only for 94 students. How about the rest? Because they didn't apply. Or maybe they applied, but they didn't apply themselves that much towards getting the scholarship. It all depends on being a good hunter. When you go out there and hunt, and then hunt the animals are going to come your doorstep, right? You have to go out there and hunt and find the scholarship. I didn't have to worry about tuition anymore when I go to college, because it's only in my student's account. And if I have to worry about anything else, maybe it's books or maybe all the expenses from college, and not even food and everything, because all that's in food and everything, living and everything. So go out there and hunt for your scholarship. There's tons of money out there, tons and tons of money. And apply to as much as you can, as much scholarships as you can. And also, I'm just gonna conclude by saying we all speak one on one languages, and I know the feeling when you came to a place you have to try to adapt, and then just try to make your teachers your best friend, and that's ask questions every day. Ask them, because we don't know. I'm not gonna go to my mom and say, hey, mom, what am I gonna expect in college? But you have to ask, because she never went. And I know most of you are first time going to college, right? In our family. And just try to ask questions. You'll be surprised what you're going to find when you ask questions. And then just try to take advantage of that you speak more than one languages. And that's a really good thing to put in perspective, because you understand other people, even though you don't speak their language, but because you do speak more than one languages, you will understand what they're trying to say. And I have a job, and that's helped me mostly in my verbal speaking, like in doing communication with other people. Because I meet different customers every day. I try to talk to them, and then they will try to talk to me back. And that's helped me like speaking English for like maybe 5 hours a day. And that's because most of us, like when we come to school, we speak English, but when we went home, we can say we're still gonna speak our native language, and that's again another factor for us too. But if you have a job and then that your communication skill will be like really good and really accumulative. And I just want to conclude by saying the reason why most of us are here, like, just to make our parents proud. I know my mom will be proud seeing me go to college, and I know most of you guys too, your parents will be really proud trying to progress, trying to learn a language that's not your first language, and being among people that's their first language, and try to be most people that were even born here can say they have this the struggle that I did, but I had that money, and most of them can say the same thing, that they saved that up. So that's why when I go to college, I'm gonna try to put that into perspective so my parents can be proud. And I just want to say thank you for your time and everything. So if you guys have any questions, and you guys feel free to ask about scholarship, about college, about anything. Yeah.
For the resume,
Yeah, resume.
do you have to have experience like volunteering and stuff? What kind of things?
So basically, a resume is about what you've done so far, like maybe your community service that you did, or maybe if you did any job before, or maybe your academic goals, your sports activities that you do in school. That's just anything that you've done. It can be out of school, it can be in school. Anything that you've done, that's what you're gonna put in your that's what you're gonna put in your resume.
So they're not looking for some. You're not looking for some certificates. No, just what you have done.
Yeah, basically that's what you're gonna put, because you're selling yourself out there. you want to put what you've done, and mostly just